Hey guys, this is Analog Man. For once, not doing a late night deck profile. I've been tinkering around with this deck for a while, and I do plan to actually run this build eventually once EX3 releases as of this recording next week on Friday. So I just wanted to put out a version of the deck that you guys can possibly build if you have all the pieces, and essentially one that is very competitive, very viable, and honestly, in testing, I feel, especially now with Crossheart getting hit, um, Alphamon getting hit, this deck is gonna see a resurgence in use. Usually, as many of you know, machinedramon has only maybe gotten maybe one top, maybe every format, maybe two, depending on how the pilot is. Um, but with all the new cyborgs that have been slowly kind of being released so far in the last 2-3 sets, I feel like this deck actually finally has a way to go for win. Basically, go for the kill. Essentially, being able to not only OTK but rush and blitz now with the new option card that we got in the last set or the set before, the black option card. That's zero cost, which is really crucial for this deck because I've actually won matches because my opponent had zero security and no blockers. So because of that, I would just go, okay, I'm gonna make another machinedramon, and now that I can rush and blitz, I win basically. So that's just I don't know. I just love that card now, and the fact that the card insecurity can delete stuff is also really powerful. So that potentially can help you kind of remove the board and keep it so that they don't go in for the kill. But yeah, let's actually get into the deck profile to show you my new updated machinedramon, or in this case now finally his evolution Chaosdramon for EX3. Okay, so first let's start off with the eggs. As you can see, I'm using my championship sleeves, which I've been using for a lot of my decks, especially my favorite ones, especially this deck. And now, as you can see, it's also sleeved in the machinedramon sleeves, finally. But yeah, for the eggs, we only run 4, and we run 4 of Gigimon. This goes in conjunction with one of the rookies, because this deck now has access to insane draw power. Honestly, the only deck that can match this amount of draw power is both Blue Flare and Crossheart, and possibly Dark Knightmon. Those are the only other decks that can compete in draw power now. So really good to have a red source. You do miss out on having a black source, but that is why you run 4 Tamers, so that you can essentially set up your stuff, or you run Haguromon to basically have a black source, so really solid. For anybody that doesn't know by this point what this card does, if this is a Guiomon, basically, it basically lets you draw a card, and then in conjunction with the promo Guiomon, you're drawing 2 cards no matter what, and you're getting an attack off, which is really nice. But yeah, we're running exactly 4 eggs for consistency purposes. I haven't really found another egg that really works with this deck, because the main thing is that you want draw power. So this egg is basically the best one for what you want to do. But yeah, we run 4 of the Gigimon. For rookies, we run 12. The first one we run, of course, is the Promo Guiomon. This guy's actually, I feel like this guy might go up in price, so I would highly recommend everybody getting this card as soon as possible. Either this one or the DCI Grand Prix re-release one, either one, but I honestly say get this as soon as possible, because this card is going to go up because of how powerful it is with Gigimon, and the fact that it can be put in almost any deck. So really cool. But yeah, when attacking, you just trigger draw 1. And the fact that you're swinging in while getting that draw means you're getting, with the egg in conjunction, as I mentioned, you're getting a double draw. So every rookie in this deck at this point basically gets you a draw 2 either on play or when attacking. So really strong. This deck just, it's insane how fast you can turbo through your deck now, compared to the previous builds that the deck had, which were very black focused and very defensive. My build here, as the previous build I put out, is very offensive, but it can also block when it needs to. So I feel like this deck is more close to Gaiomon now, where it can rush, blitz, reboot at the same time, and occasionally, if you are running the Cybergramon from EX1, or was it EX2, I believe, you can potentially de-digivolve your opponent if you have enough black tamers on board. So really nice. Anyway, we run the 4 Guiomon. Then we run, of course, the staple 4 Haguromons, because 4 Haguromons is really powerful. The fact that on play, it gives you a draw 2, and it sets up your guys in trash, which you don't really need half the time. And the fact that it is a black source, which will help you get off the option card that is very crucial to this deck. then the last level 3 we run is 4 copies of Sistermon Blanc, because Blanc, the weird thing is that I found out from this tech, from not only from Japan, but a fellow YouTuber that I saw actually mention this card, who mains machinedramon. This card is actually really busted in his deck because it helps you set up the trash, and it also helps on play effects. So it's like, so on play you get to trash one card and just draw two. It's basically the same as this, but on play, and the same as Haguromon. So you basically, as I mentioned, you have 12 rookies that just trash a card or attack and draw you two cards. So it's just so much draw power no matter what. If you get like one or two of these in your hand, you're basically golden, because the rest of your hand will be level 5 cyborgs, which will allow you to just kind of cycle through your deck and draw as fast as possible. And as I mentioned before, this deck didn't really have access to this until now. So the fact that the deck can do this now is insanely powerful, and I feel like it's able to keep up with a lot of the meta decks now. That's all the rookies we run, and as I mentioned, we run 12. It's just a standard number, as Digimon goes, 12 rookies, 10 level 4s, and then level 5s. It's just, but in this deck, your main focus is the level 5, so you're running a bit. So first off, we're running. Oh yeah, I forgot about the level 4. My bad. So we are running one level 4, but it's only 2 copies of Mechanori. Mechanori is really solid to kind of keep your security safe until you can get a machinedramon out, because obviously your opponent is going to be trying to swing in with little rookies, like Blue Thread will try to hit with Gaussmon or Greymon or Male Birdramon or something. This will keep them at bay, so that way they'll get their effects, but who cares, because you basically saved your security just long enough so that you can start rushing their security. We only run 2 of them because you don't want to overextend with this guy, but you want to see him enough. So 2 is pretty good so far. I've been able to see him almost every game. Just hard play him, put him to 1. They can't really do anything. Then you just kind of chill behind him, basically. But yeah, let's get into the level 5s. First off, we run 2 Metal Tyrannos because, of course, when Digivolving on top of a level 4, you get to search the top 3 cards, and then for a level 6 machine, and then you get to trash the rest. So basically, you get to grab Machinedramon, Chaosdramon, and then you trash the rest of the Cyborgs. Then we run 1 of the Andromon, because this one also does the same effect, but it gives blocker, and he gives reboot, he gives blocker, but only on your opponent's turn. That is one key thing that I noticed that doesn't really work with certain cyborgs, specifically the Metal Greymon from, I think, BT2 or BT3. It specifies if this Digimon has reboot, it gains a security +1, but these cards do not facilitate that, because it specifically says opponent's turn that this gains blocker and reboot. Same with the Metal Mamemon that we run 1 copy, because this one says when attacking, if this Digimon has machine in its traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less, and of course his Digivolving effect is also the same as these other 2 to search the top 3. Then we run 1 Megadramon because vanilla that grants you blocker is really powerful, and it's Megadramon. He's still solid, and it's a different numbered cyborg, so you can set up to gain the memory off that. And then we run 1 Gigadramon because it is treated as red, so really cool, and it can evolve on top of a red, also very nice. But the main thing is that on your opponent's turn, this Digimon gains plus 2,000, so your Machinedramon will be guaranteed to be 13,000, which is kind of hard to get over unless you're playing red. If you're not playing red, it's very hard to get over a 13,000 blocker sometimes, so very solid. Then that's all the black cyborgs that we run. So far, we're already running 6 black cyborgs. For red cyborgs, we run 1 of the BT1 Secret Metal Greymon because on your turn, your Machinedramon will gain plus 3,000. So you basically get to punch at already 14,000. And if you add on the other red that gives you plus 2,000, you're basically getting plus 5,000, putting your Machinedramon up to 16,000, enough to punch into Gaiomon and cause him to basically die. And especially if you're running the Metal Greymon that lets you attack unsuspended, you're going to be able to punch into him, crash, detach 2 parts, and he'll die, but you won't. So really solid. Then we run 1 Metal Greymon from the BT7 one, the one that lets you play a Tamer. And also the fact is, his inherent is honestly the best part for this deck, which is when one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, you gain 1 memory. So if you blitz into something and kill it, you're basically gaining back 6 memory in the process instead of just 5, which is really powerful for this deck now. Then we run one of the Metal Greymon from EX1 as well. I am trying to get the AA of this. I did just order it, so hopefully it gets here in time before EX3 gets in. But yeah, this one, when attacking, it deletes any Digimon with a DP of 4,000 or less, but we don't really use it for that effect because normally we would have to evolve it on Mechanori, and you don't want to lose Mechanori because he is a defensive part of the deck. The main thing you want this guy is for his inherent, which gives anything with Machine or Dragon Piercing. The Piercing is what hurts because machinedramon can boost itself up and then swing in, pierce, and do 2 checks at the same time, so really powerful. Then we run one of the Megadramon, which gives plus security. And on play, if your opponent gives you like 4, you could just hard play this and then just kill their rookie in the process because it deletes up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. So against like say Jessmon, you can hard play this and then it'll just kill 2 of their sister mons and then they lose out on having extra swings. Then we also run, of course, the Megadramon I mentioned before. It gives plus 2,000 and it counts as a black, so that's an added bonus. But if you combo this with this Metal Greymon, your machinedramon will be 16,000 and big enough to kill a Gaiomon, so really solid if you have both these guys in hand. And yeah, that's all the red ones we run for the deck. This is when we get into the multicolor ones specifically. Um, these ones are kind of weird, but the fact that they count as both black and red helped the deck a lot. We only run 4, as you can see. We run 2 of the Metal Greymon from BT8, the one that allows you to basically attack unsuspended. I don't really use this card as much for the when Digivolving effect. I mean, it has come up occasionally, but usually you have to evolve it on top of Mechanori, as I said before. So it kind of, I don't really like to do that usually. I honestly never use this effect. The effect that I use it for is for the fact that I can attack unsuspended because it's a machine type. Then we run 1 Megadramon. Now with Crossheart getting hit, this card isn't as crucial anymore. Before I was running 2 copies because that way you could just Digivolve it on top of Mechanori to pop like their Taiki or something. But now this is only used maybe to kill like a Cool Boy or some kind of small Tamer. So it's not as crucial anymore. So we only run 1 copy. Then we run one of the Volcanomon from the new Jessmon starter deck. This guy, if you evolve it on top of Mechanori, it is a blocker. So this is the one time that I actually do like to evolve it because it's a 9,000 blocker and that's really hard to get over sometimes. Also, the fact that it does by default give a security +1. So either way, if it dies, you get bonus off it. That's all the level 5s we run. We run exactly. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we run another 5 here, and then we run exactly 15 so far in this build. So you're guaranteed to see at least 1 or 2 of these in your starting hand, if not more. So no matter what, you will see these for discard off of the rookies or any kind of discard, honestly. We do not run Ultimate Connection in this build. I know Ultimate Connection is really powerful and it gives you the 2 memory, but at the same time, you have to have a black source, and the egg is a red source, so it's only live if you have a black Digimon. And in testing, I've found that it doesn't really do that well because if they hit in its security, you basically get the effect, right? But only if you have a level 5. So it's honestly, it's not so great. I feel like there's a crux to it. There's a downside. So I feel maximizing on cards that give you more benefit is better. So I honestly took it out. I might put it back in maybe in future builds, but for now, this is a kind of mixed color build. It has essentially 3 colors if you count the white. So I feel like it's not as crucial anymore. Let's get into level 6s. Of course, for level 6s, we are running the 4 machinedramons. I did order the AAs for this, so hopefully they'll get here before EX3, maybe if not after, a little bit after, so I can have a full alt art. But yeah, we have to run this card at 4. It's the heart and soul of the deck. You want to see this as soon as possible and with as many cyborgs as possible in your hand and or trash or on field so that you can just hard play it, equip, and then just rush and blitz them or block them into, basically losing the game. Really powerful card. Machinedramon, always solid. The fact that it can't be DP reduced is really crucial, especially against yellow and purple because they do like to DP reduce you a lot, and this guy just says no to that on all turns, so they can't really do anything about that. The only thing that really hurts him is Chaos Degrade, but I do have a tech now to basically stop that, and I'll show you it once we get to that point. But yeah, 4 Machinedramon, gotta have it. Then for the newest card edition, 3 Chaosdramons. I know some builds are running 4, but I feel 4 is a little bit bricky. 3 is consistent enough that you'll see it as often as possible, and the fact that most of the time you'll be using this to equip, not on play, because it does have an on-play effect, but you want to use it specifically for the Digivolve on top of Machinedramon. For those that don't know what this card does yet, on play or when Digivolving, by placing up to 3 red or black level 5 Digimon with Cyborg and their traits, and with different card numbers from your hand and or trash, you can basically de-Digivolve for each one that you just equipped. So you're guaranteed a de-Digivolve 3 every time when you equip. And in all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted or returned to your hand or deck, you can trash 2 to make it basically survive, which is really awesome. The fact is that now that when you evolve this on top of this, it does lose the ability to stop minus DP, but it basically covers all the other effects. So if you combo that with the option card that I'm about to show you in a second, it will basically make it so that your opponent cannot remove this at all any possible way, because not only does it have protection, Machinedramon has protection from DP reduction and deletion, and like with Chaosdramon, you have the extra protection. So depending on what your matchup is, you can actually pivot towards what you want to deal with. All right, and anyway, sorry for that pause. I had to do something. But yeah, so we run 3 of this because it's a really solid card, and depending, as I mentioned, you can pivot towards whatever deck you're dealing with. If you're dealing with more bouncing, you'll evolve Machinedramon into this. But if not, you keep it Machinedramon and you block the DP reduction and deletion. It just depends on what your matchup is. But yeah, we run 7 level 6s for now. Now we get into the option cards. We run 4 of the literal best option card for this deck, even better than Ultimate Connection because it's 0 cost. Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. You can trash a Cyborg or Machine. It basically gives any of your level 6 Digimon with Machine in their traits Rush and on play Blitz. So basically, you get to just summon Machinedramon and swing into something or swing into security. So really powerful card. And the fact that in security, when they hit it, you can discard Chaosdramon or Machinedramon in your hand to delete something on their board. And there's not that many Digimon that go over 12 or 13, so you're basically guaranteed to kill them no matter what, unless it's a level 7. If it's anything below that, they basically die. So really powerful card. You have to run 4. I tried running this at 2 and 3. I did not see it whatsoever, and it just doesn't really do anything. So running it at 4, you'll consistently see it, and you'll be able to blitz with Machinedramon. So honestly, this is a staple card that you have to max out on. And then this is the tech card that actually prevents it, specifically prevents Chaos Degrade from hurting you. The main thing is that this deck has protection from everything except for Chaos Degrade, which is the only card that can basically get around a lot of cards like Omni, where it places the card into security, so it doesn't count as bouncing to the deck or bouncing to your hand or deletion. So this card helps stop it, basically. We run 2 of Congo, an old a sort of old card from BT9. Originally, this card was used in Alphamon to prevent it from hitting Chaos Degrade and basically getting bounced. But in this deck, we use it to specifically protect from the one card that can counter us. And in my locals, we do have a guy who plays Mastamon. Shout out to my friend Jose who plays it. This card will stop his Chaos Degrade. And I have protection from deletion and returning to deck. So the only thing, literally the only thing that he can kill me is if my guy has no sources, which is not very often because with Machinedramon, even if he detaches, he has 3 sources. And then if I evolve into Chaosdramon, he'll have, let's see, with the 2, let's see, that's like 3, that's like at least 7 sources. So no matter what, he won't be able to kill it with Congo active. So that next turn when I swing, I'm basically going to swing for game no matter what, because with Chaosdramon, I'm going to be equipping back a level 5 that gives plus security, and then if I have a Machinedramon in hand, that's basically game, because with this in conjunction with Machinedramon on that turn, it's basically game because they have no security at that point. So yeah, Congo is the crucial card now to basically stop the one card. So I highly recommend running at least 2 copies of this, maybe one if you don't have space. This card, honestly, I feel like it's looked over a lot, but it's a really powerful card, and it's a very cheap card too, because also not only does it stop Chaos Degrade, but it also prevents your opponent's Digimon with play cost of 7 or less. So if you combo that with Mechanori, they can't even attack with Gaussmon or whatever in Blue Flare, or they can't even swing with any of their guys in Crossheart if there's any Crossheart players still around in your locals. So really powerful card. Anyway, that's all the option cards that we run for the deck. For Tamers, the things that we do run are, oh wait, actually no, we still have more option cards. I totally forgot about this other option card that helps us draw a lot of stuff. We run 4 Fireballs because in conjunction with your red source, you can also get rid of little rookies that basically stop you from doing your on-play reduction effects. So this card, after testing it, I realized it's actually super crucial in the deck, especially now that we have new rookies in red and I think green that basically stop you from reducing the cost of your machinedramon. Basically, you don't get to make it a 7 or 5 cost, basically. Because of the rookie specifically saying you can't reduce it. But this, you either get a draw or you get to delete something 3,000 or less. And almost all of those rookies I just mentioned, they basically are only 3,000 or less. So this will automatically kill them, and it'll free up the room to basically swing or summon your guy. Because normally, if you can do this with the Tamer Kazu, you basically get an extra memory no matter what. So you should be able to summon the machinedramon at 2 memory most of the time. If not, you can always wait until next turn, because usually most players only run 1 or 2 of those rookies that I mentioned. So it's very hard for them to kind of like pass the turn, because then you could just kill them, and then you just play another one and just keep killing their rookies, so they can't really do anything about it. But yeah, this card is crucial. You have to have 4 of this. This helps basically pave the way for the machinedramon to summon itself and reduce the cost. So this is a absolute staple of 4 of. But yeah, now all the option cards are done. Now let's get into the Tamers. So for the Tamers, originally I was testing 4 of each. I was playing 4 of Kazu or 4 of Izzy, basically. Like, I kind of interchanged them to see how they would do. Kazu doesn't really do anything, especially if your opponent keeps killing your level, basically your level 3 Haguromon. So you lose your black source, but you still keep Kazu, but then you don't get enough memory to basically play the machinedramon. And I actually lost the match because my opponent kept setting me to basically 1 memory, so I just couldn't play machinedramon. For those that don't get what I'm trying to get at, it's specifically the fact that there's a ruling that specifically says that machinedramon can only be played if you have the 12 memory to play him. So if you only have like 11 memory, you can't do it. So you have to basically ensure that you are always at 2 memory so that you can play the machinedramon. So I went with a basically 2-2 split. I went 2 Kazu and 2 Izzy, because that way you ensure that you get the memory and you have the black source. And if you have Izzy, you can set your memory to 3 no matter what. And the thing is that if you have both on field, and you go against a Black War Greymon player, they have to kill one or the other. They can't kill both, because Black War Greymon specifically specifies 6 cost in total. So this is 7 cost. So they have to only be able to kill one and then one of your rookies, and that's it. But that means you get to keep at least one of the Black Tamers to basically set up your board. So I feel like this is actually a stronger combination, especially going forward, because people will be playing Black War Greymon a little bit more because of the new support coming in the future. So you have to be very careful with how you set it up. But yeah, that's basically the deck so far. This is my current build of it at the moment. It's not really that like big brained or super heavy combo. It's just draw as fast as possible, make machinedramon, and just go for game. That's essentially what the deck does now, but I feel like that's pretty effective, because essentially it's become kind of like the X antibody decks that were in BT9, but now in BT10, or in this case EX3. You want to just go in, because playing too defensively, I learned from the previous versions of machinedramon, it works to a certain extent, but the thing is that if your opponent can get through and just kind of slowly chip away, you still lose no matter what, even if you have a gigantic blocker that can't be basically pierced through, basically. but at the same time, you can't be too offensive because then you lose out on defense. So originally, I actually had taken out Mechanori to fit in maybe 2 heroes to boost machinedramon, but then that left me defenseless if I didn't have a machinedramon out. So having 2 Mechanoris actually does help in certain situations against like rush decks, and then having the defensive part of machinedramon being able to block stuff and reboot and all that stuff, and then being able to kill rookies. So you have to have a kind of like tempo kind of mix. And now that with Chaosdramon, you're able to basically pivot towards either you can do both offensive and you can do defensive, especially now with the rookies. You can just kind of chip away. So you're essentially rushing and then finishing the game with machinedramon and or blocking them until you can finish the game with a second one. So essentially you have to, as I mentioned in the very beginning, you have to be a good pilot and you have to be able to basically adapt to what you're dealing with. Like if your opponent is more a defensive player, you have to go full offensive and pierce through. If not, if they're more offensive, you're going to have to start going defensive and kind of block them so that they can't do anything for the turn. And yeah, that's basically how you're going to have to pivot. But if you play it right, if you play it calmly and slowly, you should be able to basically go through and win the game. But anyway, I just wanted to get this deck profile out for EX, or at least before EX3, so that way you're prepared and you know which cards you need for the deck. The deck is honestly relatively cheap, except for the machinedramon. Even normal machinedramon is still very expensive. And as I mentioned, I went full alt art, so it cost me a bit. But at the same time, this will be my main deck for EX3 going forward and even beyond, because this is my favorite Digimon, along with, Dark Knightmon, and yeah, so basically, um, if you want to build this deck, I highly recommend it, but do it soon before the cards spike. The cards, like all the other level 5s, are pretty cheap if you get the lowest rarity. Mechanori is super dirt cheap. All of these rookies are also dirt cheap, except for maybe Guilmon, but Guilmon is usually maybe $10 max, so $40 in total. And then these option cards, basically almost all these option cards are all commons, so they're super dirt cheap. The Tamers are also pretty dirt cheap, especially if you go low rarity with Izzy. Or actually, this Izzy actually is pretty cheap too, because you can get in the new Jessamon Star deck and Ragnalord. So you basically get, yeah, these are super cheap. So you should be able to build the deck. The only hard part is just the Machinedramon and possibly Chaosdramon, but it is a super rare, so it won't be as hard to pull. But I feel like the alt art might go up a bit. I'm gonna try and get the alt arts, but um, this deck is pretty easy to build aside from that part. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.